Strength of schedule is one of the most misunderstood statistics in the game of football. If you try to look up strength of schedule ratings from 3 different news sites, they'll probably tell you 3 different things. Because everyone wants to sum up strength of schedule in a single number, and there's just no way to do that will make sense in every situation. Schedules can be strong in some ways and weak in others. For example, consider 2 teams, A and B, which each play 6 games. 5 of Team A's games are against very easy opponents, so they're very likely to win, and 1 is against a very tough opponent, so they're almost guaranteed to lose. Meanwhile, all of Team B's games are against medium opponents, and the games could go either way. Which of these is the tougher schedule? One rating might tell you A's is tougher, because there's almost no way to go undefeated with this elite team on the schedule. But another rating system might tell you B's is tougher, because Team A can get their first 5 wins without even breaking a sweat. In other words, it's easier to win 4 or 5 games against A's schedule, but it's easier to win all 6 games against B's schedule. So we can already see why it's not going to work to just give these teams a number and say one schedule is stronger than the other. To really understand strength of schedule on a meaningful level, we have to understand how hard the schedule is for any given number of wins. Fortunately, it's easy to do that with a simple line graph. Team A's schedule looks something like this. Winning 2 games is harder than winning 1, and so on. Winning 6 games is much harder than winning 5, though, because that requires beating that really tough opponent. Team B's strength of schedule rises a little faster because most of their games are against tougher opponents than Team A's, but then they don't have that spike in difficulty to win all 6 games. Now we have a measurable idea that Team A's schedule is stronger for 6 wins, and Team B's schedule is stronger for 1 to 5 wins. Knowing that, we can see why we might find very different strength of schedule ratings if we look at a few different sources. But unfortunately, pretty much nobody reports whether the strength of schedule they publish is for a team to win all of their games or 3/4 or some other combination. But that's a key piece of information, because if your team only won half their games, then the strength of schedule for winning all of them may not even be remotely relevant. If teams A and B are both winning about 3 of their 6 games, then comparing their 6-win strength of schedule would deceptively tell you that Team A has the tougher run. Many sources will do this, focusing on how hard it is to win every game, because that's what's important for the highest performing teams. But then they'll go ahead and apply it to every other team as well, when for most teams it's a completely meaningless statistic. In a practical sense, strength of schedule usually only matters for comparing how hard it was for a team to win as many games as they actually won, and maybe how hard it would have been for them to win 1 more. Now that we're thinking along the lines of actual wins, we can see how strength of record fits into the conversation. While strength of schedule tells us how hard it is for a team to win any hypothetical number of games, strength of record tells us how hard it was for them to win the games that they actually did win. And this answers the key question that is really why we care about this stuff in the first place. If Team A had more wins, but Team B had a stronger schedule, then which team actually performed better? Let's take a look. If we say, for example, that both teams finished with 3 wins and 3 losses, then these values on the y-axis represent their strengths of record, and Team B's 3-3 record is stronger than Team A's. If we say that both teams went undefeated, then Team A's 6-0 record is stronger. But if Team B had 4 wins, while Team A had 5 wins, then Team B still ends up with a better strength of record. And this is true even if one of Team A's wins was the really tough team, because the positive impact of that win is offset by the negative impact of having a loss to one of the weak teams. This highlights another weakness of the simple rating systems that most publishers provide. All they would tell you is that one of these teams' schedules is stronger by some arbitrary number. But then you only know whose performance was better if they have the same number of wins, or if the team with the tougher schedule has more wins. If the team with the stronger schedule has fewer wins, then you don't have enough information to really compare their performances. We have to understand these disparities in strength of schedule on a game-by-game level to draw these conclusions. You can find game-by-game strength of schedule ratings for college football and NFL presented just like this example at giddenssports.com. Next season, when you're looking at strength of schedule, make sure you check out the game-by-game comparison. Thanks for watching.